Hello. We're gonna hope and pray that the camera does not fall off of my water bottle, that it is very, very delicately balanced on. But anyway, welcome to the reading vlog for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I haven't done a video like this in a long time, and I want to because I love Percy Jackson and I want to get back into book stuff. I feel like I've said that before. Also, I'm officially the girl talking to her camera in the courtyard of her dorm, but it's fine. Anyway, Wrath of the Triple Goddess reading vlog. And yes, I'm starting this reading vlog after I started the book. I am on page 45, which is chapter 6, and so far all they've gotten is what the quest is, and they've just arrived and toured Hecate's mansion. Haunted mansion. Haha, Disney reference, because I'm kidding. Disney Hyperion. Yeah, but it's fine. It's really good so far. I noticed that Percy is like, he's kind of that like grumpy, angry Percy that like we're all kind of like, where is that energy? Like Percy would be like that, he would be like that. Like we're seeing it. Like he is, like he's kind of like struggling with why like, oh, the quest is that they're pet sitting for Hecate. They're watching the polecat Gale and her hellhound. It's so funny. I love it. But and Percy's kind of struggling with like, and it's around like the book's taking place the week of Halloween, which I think is awesome. Finally, a Percy Jackson book's taking place around Halloween. But I don't know, I think it's interesting finally seeing Percy being like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like you can really tell in the narration that he's just like, I'm so done. Like I really can't. And yeah, and he's kind of struggling with like, Annabeth is supposed to have a Halloween party at Hecate's house, which I think is so fun and so on brand for Annabeth Chase to figure out how to make a haunted house out of a goddess's mansion, which is really cool. But Percy's like, why? Like he's so done, he's so over it. And he's like almost struggling with like not being like slightly aggravated. So cool, like we're pet sitting for Hecate, this is so easy, this is so cool. Yeah, but anyway, also, I love Percival. They're amazing. They just act like a married couple at this point, I love it. Okay, that's it, because I'm gonna read for like, I have like an hour before I'm gonna go back to the arts building and go in a practice room and do some homework, and then I'm gonna come back and do some math homework, and do some notes. So yeah, I'm gonna read, and I'll keep y'all updated, I guess, because a reading vlog is happening after probably like 2 years. I feel like this is the only corner of this room that I've ever shown. It's fine. I think I read like 20 pages sitting outside. And I didn't bitch out on talking to a camera in the middle of the courtyard either. There's a full, like, 3-minute clip of me talking to the courtyard. But, yeah, I think I read chapters 6 and 7. Yeah, I read chapters 6 and 7. So, again, I'm not at a point in, like, Percy Jackson where, like, a lot's happening yet. Like, it takes a minute for shit to actually happen. But what I didn't talk about in the first couple of like chapters before the ones I just read. Also, if you can't tell, this is before I started taking notes. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll find out when I edit. That Percy's like more self-deprecating than I remember him being. Like there's a point where like in parentheses it's like, and no, I'm not gonna talk about how depressing that is. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's not very Percy Jackson of you. I mean, it is. He usually just doesn't like flat out say it. There's usually like humor covering up the self-deprecating moments. I mean, it's going back to my Percy just over it statement from earlier. But also, I will forever love the Percy Jackson chapter titles. They are near and dear to my heart. Guess what? Weaselbud. That is chapter 8. And, you know, at first glance, that tells me absolutely nothing. However, in about 10 minutes, when I read the chapter, it will ultimately tell me everything, and I love that. Oh! Also, important plot detail from chapter 6 and 7. A ghost? A ghost. Percy thinks he saw, like, a little kid on, like, a bike. Like, in the corner by, like, the house. And I was like, what? Because he's like, oh, Hecate's the goddess of ghosts, right? And then it's like, why? Did you see one? And then, like, that's all we got of that. And it's like, I guess the little kid had glasses on. And then Percy, like, steps on a pair of glasses and, like, cracks them and then, like, disappear into mist. And I'm like, okay, Halloween. But also, like, what? And also, anytime there's a boy brought up that wears glasses in a Percy Jackson book, I just think of Jason Grace. And then I just remember that this book takes place before he kicked the bucket. Okay, that's it. I need to start taking notes, because these are just really incoherent thoughts. I'm too lazy to get up and get the camera. So this is the angle we're working with. But I actually took notes on the book that this video is about for once in my life, so I actually know what I'm talking about. Okay. This is a little earlier in the book that I read. I'm on chapter 13 now, I think. I'm like 110 pages in. So, like, at one point, Percy got so, like, mad that he was, like, kind of mad at Annabeth and Grover, which was really weird. But, like, pure, like, rage mad. Like, not just annoyed. Like, not out of character, because it's not out of character. I guess it's just not something that, like, Percy's let the audience see before, at least when we're in his perspective, because usually he's, like, not like that towards specifically Annabeth and Grover. We've seen Percy get angry, but I just thought that was interesting, because it's like, wow, he's actually mad at Grover and Annabeth. That's fucking weird. Oh, the next thing I had on there was the chapter with the puppy. So, Percy summons Mrs. O'Leary to go find Hecate's hellhound. And instead of finding Hecate's hellhound, Mrs. O'Leary finds this, like, little hellhound puppy in an alley. And he's, like, all beat up and he has nowhere to go. And, like, Percy starts crying because of this, like, little hellhound puppy. And it was so sweet, but it was, like, so sad because, like, you felt bad for the puppy. And then I guess the puppy's barks, like, it sounded like the word nope. So the puppy's name is just Nope. What else? Other things happened. Oh my god, and so, like, because, you know, Grover can talk to animals. So the puppy gave, like, nicknames to the trio. And Annabeth is Mom. Grover is Chew Toy, because the puppy kept, like, running around trying to, like, nip at, like, his hooves. And Percy's Alley Boy, because he found them in the alley, so he's Alley Boy. I thought that was really funny, I'm not gonna lie. I chuckled, I let out a giggle. And then, like, you know, this is all happening during a school week, because why would they make it easy? No, this has to happen while all the characters have to go to school. So Percy goes to school, normal, whatever. He goes to talk to his history teacher, but she's not in there. Who's in there instead? Chiron. Chiron, cameo. I also want to know why Percy's, like, guidance counselor lady is so friggin' freaked by Hecate. Like, Eudora has packed up and left. She's gone. But we got a Chiron cameo, and that was really fun, and he, like, helped Percy with some, like, how they could go find Hecate's hellhound, which the name of which I'm not even gonna try to pronounce, because I know it's not right. But yeah, interesting little tidbits. Hello from not my dorm room, yet again. We're back in Naples, Florida, because there's another hurricane. This one's name is Milton. And this time, the eye of the hurricane is going right over campus. I don't want to talk about the Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Also, ignore my hair. She's been in a claw clip all day, and I had to take it out. It was annoying me. Leave her alone. So anyway, Percy Jackson, The Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I read like 30 pages on the way here. Don't ask me what page I'm on because I really don't remember. But there was like little bits that I wanted to read from the book, which is something that I have not done yet, but they were like really good moments that I wanted to talk about. So this is Percy talking to Hecate's hellhound that used to be the last queen of Troy, which before, like right as Troy fell during the Trojan War, and like the great. If you know the Iliad, you know what part I'm talking about. Like when Troy falls, like her husband gone, her kids gone, it's just her. Women in the Trojan War, we don't need to go there. You get me? Yeah, okay. So he's talking to his hellhound because they have now gone on a shadow traveling like journey, like from country to country, not even coast to coast, like from New York to Germany to friggin' a shopping mall for a hot minute, and then to the beaches of Troy, which is modern day Turkey. So they're on the Aegean Sea, looking at what would have been where, and I'm really, really sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, where Hecuba would have stood and saw the Greek ships anchoring and the Greek soldiers like coming into Troy, and it's like a whole thing. So Percy is saying to her, you know, trying to get her to take the puppy Nope under her wing and like go and take them back to New York, because you know they stopped at like a German nightclub for a hot minute, and then like they were in a clothing store. Then like the bathing suit section of like a clothing store for some reason, like ran through it with all like the shadows and shadow travel. It's messy. We read Blood of Olympus. So I'm gonna read the quote now. This is Percy talking to Hecuba. I'm worried for the baby. I mean, this kid won't be a demigod, but still. I've seen how dangerous the world is. I've lost friends. One time I lost my mom. Thought she was gone for good. That was the worst feeling in the world. Every time I lose someone, I get so angry. I want revenge, but I remember what my friends would want. The same thing my mom wants for me, to be happy, to find people who matter and hang on to them for as long as I can. I can't go back in time. I can't recover the people I've lost. So I have to concentrate on the family I've still got. Not just my mom and stepdad or the new baby, but also Annabeth, Grover, all my friends at Camp Half-Blood. And that like, reading that section just like hit. I was like, oh my god, like Percy. Because all of what he said is true, and it's like they're at a point in the books where like, this is a point where, mind you, Trials of Apollo hasn't happened yet. So we're at a point where like Percy, Annabeth, Grover, like off Camp Half-Blood, they don't know Leo's still alive, and Jason hasn't died yet. So it's kind of like, it hurts reading that and knowing what we know as the audience and knowing what's coming in the future, like emotionally for these characters, and like Percy's little sister Estelle has not been born yet, and all of these things. So yeah, at the end of that chapter it was really sweet, and they go back to New York, and then I get this lovely, this is just funny, this is why I wanted to read it. This is very seaweed brain podcast of me, reading little quotes. If you don't understand that reference, I'm going to link Seaweed Braid Podcast in the description because I love them. And they always read like little bits from the book. So I'm taking, blah, blah, I can't speak. I'm taking inspiration from Erica and Carter and reading some little clips. This one, oh, this is Percy talking about Annabeth the morning after shadow traveling, and they let Percy sleep in a little bit. She made me breakfast, a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel sandwich. If I hadn't already been in love with her, that would have sealed the deal. I chuckled. I cackled. I let out a giggle on the way here reading that, because they're so funny, and also they're in New York, so you know that was a damn good bacon, egg, and cheese, okay? I haven't had a good bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel in like 3 months, alright? Because I'm now in Florida. I just need a bagel from New Jersey, that's really all I need, but I got a little giggle out of that as a Northeast native. But yes, I really like the book. The book is really starting to like pick up. Oh my god, and at one point like Hecuba was kind of terrorizing Astoria and New York City, like all these little Greek like businesses, just like terrorizing them to like make the Greeks pay for the Trojan War, which was really funny because she was like terrorizing a random bakery. Like it was so random. And then like apparently like she rose like dead Trojan soldiers to like go and like run around and fight people. So if the Trojan soldiers touched you, you got a flashback to that moment where like she was sitting on the beaches of Troy and everything is gone and you just feel like pain and anger and grief, and it happened to Percy. And I was like, it was very reminiscent of like those few chapters in The Last Olympian where this is either right before Selena dies or right after Selena dies, and it's like those few chapters in The Last Olympian where like, oh, it is before Selena dies because it's after Annabeth is hurt on the Williamsburg Bridge. And it's just like everywhere you looked, like people were hurt, people were missing. They were losing and they knew they were losing at that point. They were gonna get overwhelmed. They didn't know when Kronos' forces would be back. It was very reminiscent of The Last Olympian. I don't know how long I've been rambling about this. But yeah, the books, I've hit the halfway point of a Percy Jackson book, which is where like it was already good before, but now it's really getting good. Like you're in the story. So yeah, now we just have to, I guess the next part of their quest is like to find Gale the polecat before the Halloween party they're supposed to be throwing at Hecate's haunted mansion. Also like the ghosts thing, we still haven't figured out the ghosts thing. Cause there's like a thing with glasses and like there was initials like SEJ on the side, but I don't off the top, because Percy recognized them, the initials like off the bat, and I'm like, am I supposed to know those initials? Like I don't remember anyone with those initials. We're gonna find out. Okay, I don't know what chapter like number it is off the top of my head because my book's in the living room, but I just read the chapter. Annabeth asks to see the manager. It was so funny. I think it's one of my favorite chapters of the whole book, and it's not even a chapter with like a lot of action. You know what I mean? Like, because it has a lot of references to the Sea of Monsters, and which I love because Rick was writing this book while they were writing and like diving back into the Sea of Monsters book for season 2 of the TV show, and it was such a good reference. Oh my god. So okay, they already found the Hellhound and brought her back. Like I said last time, they're looking for the polecat Gale. Gale was a very powerful witch in Greece and all that, and then Hecate turned her into a polecat for some. I don't know, but it happened. So they are going to all of these perfume shops on the street in New York looking for Gale, because Gale was like a potions witch, like that was kind of her thing. So they're looking for Gale, and they keep running into these naiads, which are water spirits. And Percy, you know, like some side and all that is kind of like feeling them out, okay? But feeding her, and the first one's like, you destroyed my life, Percy Jackson, I know you, mwahaha, and then they kill her. So, I feel like the Spark Notes, the worst Spark Notes version of this ever. I promise there's a point. So then it's like they go to the next store, and it's her sister, and she like kind of says the same thing. And then, right before they go to the next store, that's where Annabeth comes in. So they're walking down the street, you know, to go to the next, the final perfume shop with like the two twins. And Annabeth's like, oh, It's another name for Cersei's Island. Cece's Spa. Like, Cece's Spa and Resort. From the Sea of Monsters! Because it's like, oh, she's like, oh, Percy, like, when we were in the Sea of Monsters. And then it, like, clicked with me. There are 4 women saying Percy Jackson destroyed their life and they're witches. Cersei taught witches on the island because she offered to Annabeth, like, oh, you could be such a powerful sorceress. And then they destroyed the island because she turned Percy back into a person and all the pirates and chaos ensued. And Cersei's island was destroyed. So it's like making sense because like Percy wouldn't know who these naiads are, but Annabeth would, because the naiads were Cersei's 4 handmaidens from the Sea of Monsters that took Annabeth away and did her makeover. The dots are connecting, the dots are dotting everywhere. I was like, that's connecting the universe right there. That's connecting the universe. And then they like, to like disguise themselves from the last 2 naiads, they go into like a Halloween store and get costumes. And Annabeth gets all dolled up again and makes her so like they make her look like she's on Cersei's island again. Same hair, same makeup, they do it all up. And then the boys, this is the funniest part, they're gladiators. Because it's like the Roman section of costumes in a Halloween store. They're gladiators, like plastic swords. And keep in mind, it's October in New York City. So Grover has this whole like fake armor thing on his chest and like a sword and all the things, right? Percy, just the bottom half of a gladiator costume. Mans is shirtless in New York City in October. It is cold. It is cold. And I only know that because there's a whole joke when he comes out of the dressing room in his costume and Grover's like, I thought you had like muscles and stuff. And Percy's like, I'm a swimmer, dude. I don't know why I found that funny, but I was like, he's like, I'm a swimmer. He's like, I really don't know what you expected. And it's just so funny to me that they're walking around like with like plastic swords and like a plastic shield, and Annabeth is just drop dead gorgeous, and then Percy and Grover are in like Roman gladiator costumes from a Spirit Halloween with like plastic swords that aren't gonna do shit. Yeah, anyway, I love the Sea of Monsters reference. That's really what this was. Okay, I'm very close to the end of the book, so I was gonna do like a final wrap up, how I felt about the book thing. I wasn't gonna really like shoot anymore because I was just like, I got this. There's like maybe 50 to 100 pages left. Like, I'm good. Remember? I was talking about like, oh, Percy recognized the initials like S-E-J. Who's S-E-J? I was like, am I supposed to know that as a reader? Do you wanna know who it was? We're gonna do a little reading. I nodded. I don't know what happened exactly, but if we're going to try rebuilding this place with the help of ghosts, then we need to figure it out, which means I need to talk to S-E-J. Sally Estelle Jackson. Huh? Are you telling me that Sally, a mortal who can see through the mist, got turned away by Hecate to like teach her magic? I'm flabbergasted. My jaw is on the floor. Like, what? Also, Estelle being named after Sally is really cute. This is like plot. I was gonna say plot twist of the century. This is plot twist of the current Percy Jackson canon. No, I feel like there's better ones, but still. Freaking flabbergasted by chapter 28 of The Wrath of the Triple Goddess by Rick Riordan. Riordan? I don't know. Just, yeah. What? Talk about unexpected. I was waiting for the the ghost thing to come up more. Because, as someone said it, like, ghosts aren't always, like, actual ghosts, like, raising the dead Nico D'Angelo shit. Like, sometimes they're just things from the past that come back and haunt you. And I'm like, well, Sally's not a ghost. So, I'm connecting dots. Slowly. But surely. Anyway. Jaw on the floor. Okay, this is the second time I've balanced this camera on my water bottle, which is not the safest thing in the world, but again, no tripod, so a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. I finished the book. Well, I'm back on campus now, first of all. The last thing you guys saw. I was at my grandparents' house still. Finished the book. It was actually, the ending was so, like, cute. Like, it was sweet. So, we finished it. So, to fix Hecate's house, because they, like, the house was just trash, they used Hecate's torches, which I knew they were going to come into play because they were mentioned really early on in the book. They used Hecate's torches on Halloween night to summon like ghosts from a cemetery in New York. A really old one, like 1600s Dutch settlers, like from when New York was New Amsterdam. So they did that, and of course it like kind of goes horribly wrong. The ghosts aren't listening to them. They fight all the ghosts because of course they do, because it's a Percy Jackson book, so what else is gonna happen? So yeah, we have some Percabeth moments with like passing off the torches to each other, and that's great. So they forgot to cancel the Halloween party. So some familiar face from Camp Half, a couple familiar faces from Camp Half-Blood show up because all their friends from camp are showing up for this Halloween party. So then with everyone else, everyone else from camp helps them defeat the ghosts in the Halloween costumes, and then they have like, and then it kind of goes into like just the last like 3 little like wrap-up chapters, which is like the Halloween party. Oh, the wind. I really hope you can hear me. The cute little like Halloween party, it was so cute. It's like we see like Connor Stoll, Harley from the Hephaestus cabin, an Aphrodite girl that I'm not sure if we've met or not, and Clovis from the Hypnos cabin from The Lost Hero. And those are like the named demigods that we get in those final scenes. And it was just like really wholesome, like really sweet Halloween party. They were dancing and having snacks, and of course we get our last little like Percy and Annabeth, like they sneak away and they sit on the balcony and like, you know, there's like none of this is your fault, and like they talk about it, and then they enjoy their time with their friends. And then the last chapter, obviously, Hecate returns, finds that her house is not trashed. Percy gets his recommendation letter, but he actually tells Hecate everything that happened and convinces her to reopen her magic school and give Percy's guidance counselor, Eudora, her old job back, basically being a guidance counselor and like admissions person for Hecate's School of Magic when she's done helping Percy get into New York University. And I'm like, that was so sweet. Love Percy. And then it ends with the trio plus Juniper having dinner with Sally and Paul, and it's really cute. And it was just really sweet, and they have dinner, and like, yeah. It ends on a Percabeth note, which makes me happy, but yeah, so it was just really sweet. The ending was wrapped up cute. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads because I just automatically give anything that's Percy Jackson related 5 stars on Goodreads because I usually end up loving it. Yeah, so that's it. First reading vlog in like 2 years. Crazy. So, yeah, that's it for the Percy Jackson and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess reading vlog. Bye!